Penguin season is over. We're joined now by Tyler Kennedy to put a bow on things in 1 minute. He's not ready just yet. Callis is trying to get him on that video stream thing, which is okay. I watched the Capitals play the Rangers the other day, and I'm happy you brought that up with Mackie. They suck. The Capitals are so bad, and the Penguins, they're a much better team, and yet the Penguins didn't make the playoffs. And you can almost point directly to the Jake Gensel day. Jake Gensel gets traded. The Penguins don't even show up. They lose 6-0 to Washington. You win that game, you're probably in the playoffs. All right, Tyler Kennedy joins us right now. Good morning, TK. How you doing, buddy?
Good, boys. Just dropped the daughter off at school. Going back home, get my coffee, and let's go.
Let's go. So I'm sure you've been watching a lot of Stanley Cup playoffs. If the Penguins did get in, they'd be giving the Rangers more of a run for their money than the Capitals did in Game 1, no?
I think it'd be pretty close. Like, the Rangers look pretty solid. I watched the first period of the first game, and you just knew that the Rangers were going to break through and just take over the game. They just have too many weapons for Washington. And Washington, when you look at their team, like, after like 2 or 3 big names, like, you're like, who are these guys? But that's like, that's the new age for those, the Penguins and Washington. Like, once you get past those top 3 guys, it's almost going to be like a new team of guys coming up and trying to prove themselves.
TK, if you're Kyle Dubas, what's your number one need you need to address this offseason?
Ooh, that's a good one, but there's a lot. But I think for me, the biggest thing is probably the bottom 6. I think the bottom 6 didn't produce enough. They didn't bring enough to each game to help the Penguins win games. I thought the goalies were good enough when you need them. Again, Jari, we were hard on Jari, but he was still pretty good. Ned was good when you need him. I don't have full confidence in them because of, how they kind of end and how Jari didn't play at the end. But I think the bottom 6 would be one that I would really have to take on because the top 2 lines played well. Again, Sid had an unbelievable year. I thought his line was really clicking at the end. Finally, Gino was on fire at the end. And, we were hard on Gino and saying, oh, my God, like, is he falling off? Like, the guy still had 27 goals as a 37-year-old as your second-line center. Like, that's pretty good in my opinion. And then after that, like, we've had guys on the 4th line not have a goal. Literally not have a goal. Like, you can't have that.
Tristan Jarry had a goal, for God's sakes, TK.
Exactly. And, again, a guy that we're losing, Jeff Carter, we're hard on him. Guy had 9 or 10 goals this year. Like, that's pretty good for your 4th line guy. So we're losing another guy who scored 10 goals. Like, we're going to have to try to find some young guys that can at least produce a little bit. That'd be a big thing for me. And again, the power play is, who knows?
I don't think they know. And so Kyle Dubas referenced in his postseason press conference that it's not a rebuild, it's a pivot. And he pointed back to the New York Rangers and how quickly they were able to get up and going again, and the Los Angeles Kings and how quickly they were able to get back up and going again. Is it possible for them to pivot in one offseason, TK, to become a true contender next year, or is it going to take a couple of off seasons?
Yeah, but like when you see those teams, like, the LA Kings from their Stanley Cup team, they have 2 guys still, Kopitar and Doughty. We're hanging on to 3 guys, and that makes it difficult. I think with the way the Penguins won now, they made trades to win now, and they didn't worry about the future. And that's what we're dealing with right now. We're dealing with not having much in the farm team. Not too many guys are coming up, except honestly those 2 defensemen. I thought they played well enough to kind of fill in a spot next year. But after that, like, I don't see really good futures from draft picks, from picks. Like Kyle Dubas says, yeah, they're pivoting. He's got nothing. What else is he going to say? Like, I think he's put all the puzzles together, analyze his team, saying, okay, 2nd year in a row, do we burn this thing down or do we try to keep it pieced together? And from my standpoint, like, I wouldn't care if they didn't make playoffs again if I felt in 3 or 4 years they were going to be a team that consistently makes playoffs. Like, I'd rather miss for a couple more years for them to rebuild, retool, to finally kind of get back into the playoff mix. Because right now, again, like, when you watch those teams out west, even like, you know, Rangers, the Panthers, like, the Penguins are pretty far out from that kind of play right now.
TK, this was great, man. Appreciate you hopping on with us this morning.
Thanks, boys. Hope you're having a good day.
You too.
Thanks, TK.
TK going to get his cup of coffee.
Yeah.
If
I would do that first.
I was going to say, if I didn't have my first cup of coffee until 8:42, I would be here physically, mentally, I'd be totally checked out.
Right.
You know,